And hello fellow techers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today we are back with this series called Mastery of Ones, and today's edition is in Heavy Tanks, or should I say Heavy Tank Edition, because all the games will be played in Heavy Tanks. So game number 1 will be in German Tier 9 E75, game number 2 will be in a French Heavy AMX M4 51, and the third game will be in the Tier 10 Russian Heavy Tank Object 279E. So I handpicked probably the best games, M1 games or Mastery 1 games that I had on my hard drive, and I have shitloads of these games, guys, to be honest, but I gotta be selective of what goes on the channel because there's only so much I can post. I have only so much to post what I need to post. So anyway, let's focus on this game first, and in each game we're going to discuss the strategy, what we're doing and why we're doing it. And yeah, all games will be kind of exciting, so let's get right into it. So first game, E75, Thiepval Ridge. We are the top tier in this matchup. We're going to go into my favorite position, which is H4 or G4, that hill over there, and it doesn't matter what tank you're in, you can go on top of that hill and still have a good game. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. We have a light tank scouting on the left hand side at H1, which is great, so maybe he can give us some spots once we climb up here. And ever since E75 got the engine buff or the speed buff, this tank behaves almost like a medium tank. It can get into position really quickly, which is absolutely fantastic. So here, this is what I was talking about. This is my favorite position on this map, especially if I start on this spawn. And yeah, like I said, you can pretty much bring any tank here. The only problem is once you come up here on top of that hill, the tank becomes really slow. The ground resistance, something's changing once you come up here, and the mobility of the tank becomes so sluggish. But regardless, we're gonna stick around here for a bit. We're gonna see what kind of customers we have spotted. Our light tank is still spotting, but all of a sudden everyone disappeared, so I'm not sure. Maybe light tank is hiding behind something because we don't have shots at this moment. So we're gonna try to poke on the right side of this rock. Now this is a little bit dangerous because once you poke out on this side of the rock, the snipers at E1, D1 will be able to hit you here, so be careful about that. I was kind of gauging whether anyone is sitting up there, but looking at the opposition lineup and them pretty much having no tank destroyers, I assume that's pretty safe for me to poke out over that ridge. But anyway, we're gonna use that rock for our protection, and we're gonna continue putting shells into whoever gets spotted by the light tank. So we're gonna continue doing that, and at this point in time there's no reason to move. Looks like our team is progressing pretty well on this flank. One thing to keep in mind is on the other side of the flank, or the other flank, which is 9-0 line, looks like the opposition is overcrowding there. So that's what I realized right now, and I'm gonna switch my attention to that side of the map. Again, me having some mobility, E75 is fantastic tank. It has some armor, you can angle it pretty well. That, you know, high alpha, 500, over 500 alpha per shot is absolutely fantastic as well. So it's a great tank, but I find this gun a little bit sluggish every once in a while, and it will throw potatoes. So if you can maximize, you know, the gun skills on your crew, I would say that would be probably much recommended. Anyway, we put a shell into that guy. He's dead now. We're gonna focus the Gornish now, and let's see if we can put a shell. We're actually aiming at his R2D2 cupola at the front there, and we can't find it, and we bounced that shell, unfortunately. We're gonna try to do it again, I think. Now at this point there's no point for me going in, because me sitting at a distance, it will be much harder for the opposition to pen me, and especially if I'm using that rock in front of me and I still have shots, and I know my gun is not awfully accurate, but I can still do some damage here. So we're gonna focus this T-54 And unfortunately our shell goes into his track and tracks him instead of getting damaging hit. So now we're gonna focus this Type 4 heavy because you know, he's the one that can change the way this game finishes. I have to start putting some shells into him, so I'm gonna switch to APCR rounds, because with APs I'm not gonna be able to pen him through the front reliably. So we're gonna try to pen him through the turret cheek, but that shot bounces. So we're gonna do step and repeat. At the same time we get tracked. And I can see at this point that I'm getting overcrowded. So I'm gonna call for help, and hopefully one of those guys that are at 2-line, they're gonna come and help me here. And I see one heavy tank coming to help me, so I'm gonna drop behind that ridge here, and we're gonna try to draw the opposition behind that ridge and see what happens. So my heavy tank is here. T-54 is pushing it hard. That shot was a bad shot, guys. Never auto aim, and I make mistakes like that every once in a while. It's better to go third person and manually aim, and because of that stupid shot my friendly dies, and now I'm in trouble. So I really have to take this 54, and I did. Still auto aiming. So yeah, I was a little bit lazy in this game, I would assume. I didn't feel like aiming in third person. Anyway, the big problem now is this Type 4. Because he can literally shred me to pieces. So I have to be penning my shots every time, and we're losing this game quite hard. Plus our base is getting capped, so it's not a very good situation at the moment. So I'm gonna try to aim his weak spot, which is that flat spot, angled flat spot on his front plate, top front plate. And we managed to pen a couple times, and we're gonna try to use that rock behind us to basically shield ourselves from him at the same time. Unfortunately our shot, it kind of bounces there, and that's the thing. I'm not sure, like, these APCR rounds should be going through him like butter, but they're not. So I'm getting RNG'd here in this game a little bit, but still, we're still winning this encounter. So all I have to do is pen the rest of my shots, and that's what I'm gonna try to do here. Boom, we put one in. That's great. He's a one shot to us now, and we quickly need to take him out of the game right now, because we gotta go and reset the base. He puts a shell into us. Unfortunately I over angled there a little bit, and he manages to penetrate us, but now we finish him off. We hit that flat portion of a top plate that's angled, and we take him out of the game. Now the important thing is reset now. Can we do it? This is gonna be a difficult thing to do. It's probably light tank that's capping the base at the moment. So we're gonna try to come close and spot him. And once we spot him, the only thing we can do is try to line the shot up really well and try to hit him. And yes, the gun works this time around. And we managed to track him at the same time, and we reset the base. Fantastic. So only me and T95 left. I provide mobility, T95 has firepower and armor, and we really have to take care of the medium tank and the light tank. The light tank, as you notice, is the... what was it? I can't remember now. Oh, it's the Hawk 12. We lined that shot pretty good, but it doesn't go in for whatever reason. It looked like it was aimed really well, and it was zoomed in pretty well. But anyway, we're gonna try to go on the left side of this hill, and here we should be able to see the Hawk 12 come out, and maybe we can take him out of the game. I'm a little bit worried about Artie here, because I'm really within Artie vicinity to take me out. Oh, here we take him out. Nice. Artie misses, luckily, so you need a little bit of luck in these games every once in a while. And second Artie looks like misses, so fantastic. We managed to take out the light tank. He was the most dangerous one, because he would be spotting us at all times, and he has mobility advantage over us. On a big map like this, it would be problematic, but we take him out. So only 2 Arties left, plus the tier 7, I think it's T43 that's left in the game. So I was hoping to drop on Artie here, because I'm unspotted, and I was hoping to just go around the hill over here and hit him and take him out of the game, but I get spotted by T43 at the same time. So Artie knows that I'm coming this way, and I don't know where Artie is, so that's a little bit not desirable. I would prefer to know where Artie is. And this T43 was a little bit of a pest. He was spotting me all the time, trying to climb up here, but it doesn't work. And all of a sudden Artie gets spotted behind me, but T95 bails me out, because if Artie put a shell into my ass, I would definitely be dead. Anyway, we're gonna start pushing here, and it's closing time right now. I don't think we can lose this game unless we get capped out, but even if T95 cannot get back into the base, into our base, I should be able to. T43 is still a threat. He can still spot me, and I think Artie is gonna focus me, because that's the right thing to do. You want to focus the tank that has mobility at this point in time, instead of focusing the tank that's slow with armor. But what do I know? Artie players have minds of their own, right? Anyway, we're gonna start pushing forward. And again, and this T43 is doing a good job, because what he's doing is he doesn't want to engage. He just pops up every once in a while, here and there, and he spots me. That's exactly what he does. That's a good play. You know, he's running off. Well, he can't fight us, really. He would have to really flank us, or me and T95. I don't even, like, even from the side, he's gonna have trouble penning us, unless he's like right behind. So his only hope is that Artie can hit one of the shells, or both of the shells, and take us out of the game, and keep spotting us at the same time. So I was sitting at 4 kills right here, and I was thinking, oh, I could probably get myself a Top Gun if I catch these guys. And I knew I was faster than T95, but I don't really have shots at this Artie, and I wasn't fully... I didn't make up my decision or my mind up whether I should go after the T43 or the Artie. T43 is running away, so I can't catch him, unfortunately. And we cannot go through here, so we're gonna go after Artie at this point in time. Are we? I don't remember this part. We're either gonna go after Artie. Oh no, we have a shot at him, but he runs off again. And Artie relocates, so yeah, we're gonna try to climb this hill over here. I know I'm in the crossfire, but T43, what is he gonna do with a small gun? He can put one shell into me. If he overexposes, I'll take him out of the game. Luckily for him, he goes behind that rock, and I cannot hit him. Now we're gonna re-angle, because, you know, he's playing it smart. He's trying to hit us. T95 takes out the Artie, so Artie's out of the game. So unfortunately, we're not gonna get our Top Gun, but maybe we can take this guy out of the game, and we pretty much should. So we're gonna poke over here, and boom, we take him out of the game. And the game is over. So, relatively decent game, nothing spectacular, but still an M1 game, Mastery 1. And I think the key thing here was taking care of the Type 4 later on in the game, as well as those key shots on that light tank. The key shots on the Hawk 12. First shot to reset the base, and second shot was to take him out of the game. Anyway, so we finished with 4.5, almost 4.6k damage. No assisted damage, because we were pretty much brawling at all times. We still ended up with 1430 blocked, Mastery Class 1, Defender Medal, 12 penetrating hits, and 5 kills. So we finished on top of the team with 1564 base XP, 5 kills, 4.5k damage. We fired 24 shells, we had 19 direct hits, and 12 penetrations. Anyway, let's skip to the next game of the evening, and second game is in a French Tier 9 heavy tank, AMX M4 51. We are on map South Coast. This is not the map that I like, to be honest, guys. I don't like this map at all. It's really difficult to play. I like to play the central position, and that's what I was thinking going with this tank at this point in time. Going to center, somewhere at... Well, first start off at F6, and then maybe work our way towards E6. That's what I was thinking. But then I look at my team distribution, and no one is really coming this way. So, time to reconsider in a split second. Yeah, I stop here. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. I can't go there by myself. It's just not gonna work. So I decided to go back. and I decided to support the weak flank. And at this point, it looks like everyone's going towards east side, so I decided to support the west. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ourselves in a position where we can support these guys. Since we're running late because we changed our kind of position, we changed how we wanted to do things, so we got to get ourselves in a position where we can actually support those two medium tanks in there, as well as the tank destroyer and heavy tank. It's not going to be easy because they're completely at 0-9 line, so I cannot give them any supporting fire, but I can try to support them from the middle to spot if there's anyone coming through the middle and maybe put shells into them. First shot, unfortunately, on object 277 doesn't go in, which is kind of strange. On that angle, I thought it should be able to penetrate, but it did not. So RD is looking at me right now, so I have to be really careful about that, because there are two RDs in play, and if they're already looking at me, that means they will be continuously looking at me, right? So we see side of the turret of the 277. Unfortunately, that shot goes a little bit towards the front of his side turret, and that bounces because I guess it creates auto ricochet angle at that point in time. Anyway, we're gonna do step and repeat at this point. There's nothing else we can do. All we can do is support this flank and try to take tanks out of the game. So we try to take the 277 out, and we do. But as you can see, the opposition has a lot of tanks on this side of the map, which is going to be problematic. And all of a sudden this Kampfpanzer shows up and he wants to fight a heavy tank. I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. I'm not gonna use my repair kit. My repair crew on this tank is not the best, as you can see, but it doesn't matter. I have armor, so I decided, you know what, let's see if this guy can pen me. If he cannot pen me, I'll just, let my crew repair the track. I don't want to burn my repair kit so early in the game. But he really wants to fight me, so he bounces his shell again. So we're gonna move over and we're gonna try to put a shell into him. I should be going for tracking shot there. I'm not sure why I'm not doing that, but that's my issues every once in a while. Space has issues as well. Anyway, there are many tanks coming over now, and looks like they killed pretty much everyone at 0-9 line. So I decided to drop all the way behind here, and judging the situation, it looks like we still have a couple of tier 10s behind me, which is absolutely fantastic. So there's Jagdpanzer 100 behind me, as well as IS-7 is coming to help out, which is absolutely excellent. So we're gonna use this choke. This is a great position for all of us, because this choke here, these guys cannot really squeeze through the choke at the same time. But what we can do is, if we hold this choke here, they will have to overexpose themselves one by one and come into open field. And once they come into open field, we can punish them, right? So I'm gonna use this hill on my left hand side to go hold down, because this tank is fantastic hold down tank. You just have to protect your cupola. That's pretty much it. As you can see, the enemy tanks are already overexposing, but they have a lot of armor to go through. Now that shot, come on, man. Seriously, that should have panned, but it tracks the machine for whatever reason, and machine is gonna put a couple of shells, I think, into our Jagdpanzer 100, but we're gonna save him here. Machine is out of play right now, which is great, and these guys are kind of stuck. They don't know what to do, because all of a sudden we're holding them with our armor, right? And we're gonna aim this shot up at T95 E6. We take him out of the game. All of a sudden the Centurion AX is in no man's land. He had so many friends with him, all of a sudden he's got no one, and we have the advantage. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna push, and we're gonna try to take him out of the game. He's focused on the IS-7, but he doesn't focus on us, and we take him out of the game. As you can see, he had 2 marks on his barrel, so he was a pretty good player. But because his friendlies died and he got isolated, there's nothing else he could have done. Anyway, the game is really, really close. As you can see, we defended our base. The opposition has defended their base pretty well as well, as STG was taken out at the moment. Now, I can see our machine going right into the middle right there at G5. And I didn't think that was such a great idea, because he's basically getting himself isolated. It would be better that he sticks with all of us, with me and IS-7. Unfortunately, we lost our Jagdpanzer E100, so we don't have him anymore. But we still have 2 RDs that can support. So this is even Steven. Whoever's smarter in this situation will win the game. Now, I'm assuming, because basically we killed this flank, and on the other flank, the RDs are still alive. So I'm assuming that the enemy's TDs are probably base camping somewhere at C7 or D7, somewhere around there. That's a pretty standard camping location. I don't know where the medium tank is. The medium tank is the autoloader, I think Tier 9 French autoloader. Batchat 25 TAP, I believe. So he's a bit dangerous, because if he pounces on me, he can simply take me out of the game. But what I'm gonna do now, guys, this comes with experience. And if you're an experienced player and you know the map positions, you're gonna do this. And that's why I did it. If you're inexperienced, you're probably not gonna do this. So I'm pre-aiming this bush, because I know if TDs are there on top of the hill, one of them eventually will come to this side and try to spot if anyone's coming on this side. And here we go. The convoy shows up, and we put easy shot into him, and we take him out of the game. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna climb up the hill, because we wanna pretty much avoid the RD, right? We don't want RD to hit us. And I'm gonna take time here. I'm not gonna rush at all, because the shell could be coming any moment. You never know. I would suggest you guys count to like 7 or 10. Every time you're in a vulnerable position, you get yourself safe, count to 7 before you come out. And you know that if RD didn't fire, that means they're not gonna fire. Because they're different RD players. Some of them are very impatient, they will fire. Some of them are very patient, and they'll wait for the shot. Especially good RD players, they'll be very, very patient. So shell could come in like 5 seconds after, 6 seconds after, because they're predicting your movement. Anyway, we have the advantage now because we took out the tank destroyer. So we're gonna push the enemy's base now. We have a nice spread. IS-7 is at D8, I'm at 0 line, and then machine is climbing up at C6, which is fantastic, actually. The only problem with that would be if Batchat pounces on one of us, because he could basically take us out of the game. I was actually hoping that if he does that, he would pounce on the machine, because that would be a tough kill for him. Anyway, we spot the artillery, put a shell into him. Can we scoot down and take him out of the game? No, he gets taken out by our RD. And as I predicted, or as I hoped, the Batchat actually engaged the machine, which is not a very easy task for him, to be honest, because machine has a little bit of armor still, and it can still clip him out at the same time. So now I'm paying attention to the map. I'm looking at the medium tank, and I see him turning around, going back towards me. So I'm like, okay, this is great, because I think he was a one-shot to me. So if we can catch him here, we can take him out of the game. But he decided to turn around, go around the hill there. Probably wasn't the best decision for him, and he gets taken out of the game. So the only thing left right now is the FV-4005. Still a very dangerous tank, but we have numbers advantage, so it shouldn't be a problem at this point in time. Even if he kills one of us, we should be able to take him out of the game to secure this win. And he gets taken out by a Batchat RD, and we secure the win for the team. Again, not very spectacular high damage game, but it was interesting from a strategic perspective how we played this, how we were able. Basically, we didn't go and commit suicide in the middle. We dropped back, we supported our flank as much as we could, and then we dropped back to defend the base, and we had support from camping teammates, right? And in many cases, you gotta take advantage of your teammates. Anyway, we finished on top of the team. Very nice game with 1727 base XP. We had 5 kills, 3.8k damage. Very nice. We fired 16 shells. We had 15 direct hits and 12 penetrations. Anyway, let's skip to the last game of the evening. And the last game of the evening is on map Steps. We're on object 279E. Now this machine, I always take it out when I have really bad run as well. What I usually do is, if I lose 2, 3, or 4 games in a row or something of that nature, I start shuffling tanks. I try to figure out which tank works the best in this meta, in current meta, in what kind of player selection we have. And that's probably the best thing to do. If you guys have trouble winning games, I would suggest you flip to see if you can actually find a tank where you can start winning, because it's not always about you and what you do, right? In a lot of cases, it is the team and how the teams are being distributed. So at this point in time, I don't remember very well, but I had pretty bad losing streak. And don't mind me in this tank when I get pissed off, and I don't play it very often, but when I do play it, I do use full heat, like almost full heat loadout. Well, no, I use 10 APs and 30 heat rounds, but I automatically switch to heat because everyone's gonna shoot heat at you anyway, heat or premium rounds, so may as well shoot heat premium round back at everybody else, right? That's the way it is in this tank. So anyway, we were waiting there for a while because, as you noticed, our team didn't take the 2 or 3 line at all. And I was hoping someone would go over there so we can brawl. It looks like we have a camping team again. And that was, at that time, I think that was the problem with my teams. Everybody was just camping. So we're going to try to feed off our team in this situation. We're going to try to use the tank and its advantages. So we're going to try to climb on top of the hill here, so it'll be harder for the opposition to hit us. And we're going to use our pike nose. Well, it's not really pike nose, but the slant at the front end of the tank in order to bounce shells. But I noticed there's too many customers there, so we're going to pull up a little bit. And here at this point, if you're like kind of like this with this tank, it's going to be hard for the opposition to hit you, unless there are tank destroyers. If there are tank destroyers in the game, they'll go through you like butter. They'll just load premium rounds and they'll just go through you. But in this matchup, looks like we have a bunch of tank destroyers. The opposition has a lot of heavy tanks, which is a good setup for us. But we're still gonna play it smart because of the RD. RD loves this tank too. And if the shell lands on your engine deck, you're screwed royally, right? So I'm gonna try to stay unspotted every once in a while and change positions so that, you know, fool the RD a little bit. And that's what we're doing here. We're climbing up right up here. We're going to defend with our tank destroyers here. We're not going to do anything stupid. We're just going to look for shots, and if there aren't any shots, we're going to try to put shells into these guys. We draw a critical on this guy. I guess that shell goes into the track. But as you notice, no one is shooting us. I don't understand why Artie is not shooting at me, because I'm spotted at this point. Looks like I'm targeted, but looks like the heavy tanks are looking at me, but not really artillery. Well, that guy's gun is a little bit scary, but he's going to have trouble penetrating us. Anyway, I was pretty much exposing myself in this tank because I wanted to draw fire from the opposition. That's what you want to do in super heavies, right? Especially this tank, or any German super heavy for that matter, or Japanese super heavies. You want the opposition to be paying attention to you, not your friendlies, because if they're paying attention to you, you're the one that's going to be blocking those shots. You're the one that's going to be deflecting the shells instead of your soft teammates, right? So that's the main thing in this game. But because I stayed afloat or stayed spotted for so long, I decided to drop, and maybe I was thinking if Artie was looking at me, it will forget about me for a split second. And now that I'm not spotted, I chose a different route. I decided to just go for it. I have armor, I have mobility. If I get flanked, I have a lot of firepower behind me. There's like 3 tank destroyers and a heavy tank. So I decided to just go for it. I'm like, I'm just going to go for it, and we're going to chew through the opposition. As long as I keep my frontal armor towards them, I should be alright. And the other flank is losing already. That's another thing. And once I saw that happening, I'm like, we got to do something. We can't just be sitting and doing nothing. Anyway, so we see this guy. We put a shell into his bottom plate, and we're going to do step and repeat. And I don't know why he's not moving. He either went AFK or he decided to stop playing. So my friendlies are doing a good thing. They're going after the tank that's actually playing, but I'm just gonna farm. Why not? We gotta take him out of the game anyway, so all that HP is mine, all that damage is mine, which is pretty good. So we'll take him out of the game. Well, almost. Looks like T62A took him out of the game. But we pretty much drained him. We got most of his HP. And now we're going to move forward into that dip over here. And at this moment, my team is going to get distracted because they're going to see that we lost the other flank and someone needs to defend the base. And this position here is going to be hard to push because the opposition has a tank at K9. That position is very, very good, actually, to defend the base. And who is it? I think it's T125. I don't know what he's doing sitting in the back, but still, he was defending from that position. And my team decided not to move forward. Guys, if you're approaching this side of the map, do exactly what I do. You hide behind the ridge on this side, because the opposition cannot hit you on this side of the map unless they have snipers sitting somewhere at, you know, E3 or something like that. But again, even if they have snipers, look at the lineup. They have only one TD. So even heavy tanks, if they're sitting there, they're gonna have trouble hitting me. And this FV or Death Star was sitting right there, so he wasn't even there. So you see me doing this. This is a very common play that I do. Even in my medium tanks, I would do this. I would come on this side of the ridge and I would try to push. But in a split second, I'm gonna realize, if you look at the map right now, look if there's any friendlies with me. How many friendlies are with me? Pretty much none. There's only this medium tank that's supporting me from the back at E8. So at this point, oh, and I already started looking at me at the same time. So I decided to drop. I'm like, you know what? I'm all alone over here. There's nothing. Never fight alone, guys. It's unless you have, even though I have OP tank, but if someone goes around me, I'm screwed. I'm gonna die, right? And looks like this T125 made his way over here, so he's gonna engage me. I'm gonna try to put a shell into him, but I'm gonna have gun depression issues, I think. So I'm gonna aim at his cupola here, but we bounced that shell, unfortunately. But he bounces his, and that's the thing with this tank. Once you climb up the hill, any heavy tank is gonna have trouble penetrating you, even with premiums. Anyway, we're gonna climb up a little bit more. We're gonna put a shell into his bottom plate. Yes, we do. And now the machine is coming over, but we have really good position here. So, and he gets tracked at the same time, so I should be able to punish him. The medium tank behind me played vital role here. He's really supporting me really well, which is great. But now I'm gonna get overcrowded. Looks like the Sheridan is going for us as well. Last thing I want is him on my behind. That's gonna be problematic if he gets on my behind. Unfortunately, the shell that I throw in his direction doesn't go anywhere. And he's going after our medium tank, which is a great play, to be honest. Because if he can get him out of the game, then he gets me exposed. And I'm in a crossfire from front and from behind. So I realize that now. And I noticed that my medium tank is dead. So I decided to push this M46. At the same time, in the corner of my eye, I look at the map and I see the light tank approaching. And he has derp gun. He wants to hit me in the back. I knew that. And that's why I stopped and backed into him. And he didn't even anticipate that. So we take him out of the game just like that. Now we're going to move forward. This guy tracks us. Now we can use our repair kit because we want to get that damage. And we're going to try to get him off the board, right? So, and he got smarter. He decided to go around us, which is a good play by him. But a little bit too late because we're going to line this shot up. And we're going to take him out of the game. So the only tank remaining is the artillery. At this point in time, I wasn't sure where the artillery was because I don't think Artie hit me even once in this game. So someone pointed, what was it, K0? So we're going to go to K0 and see if Artie is there. And hopefully I can get there first so I can get one more damaging hit. So far, we had a very decent game. We're looking at, what, over 5k damage. We had some spotting damage at the same time, which is a really good game for this tank. I mean, not fantabulous, but pretty good, right? So there is the Artie. We spotted him. T57 misses. Can we take him out of the game? No, we cannot. Butchot Artie beats us to the punch and kills the opposition's Artie. Anyway, we complete this game. Let's take a look at the end plates now and see how we did. So because of the excessive heat spam, obviously we lost credits, which is quite normal. But we did finish with class 1 mastery. We finished with 2 kills, 5.1, almost 5.2k damage, almost 1400 assisted damage and 1500 blocked, almost 1600 blocked. Quite a nice game. We finished on top of the team with 1400 base XP. T62A had a pretty decent game too, finished second, and V4005 had a nice game too with 6.4k damage. Anyway, we fired 16 shells, we had 14 direct hits and 12 penetrations. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. that's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit, checking out.